squared. Welcome to my channel. It's great to have you here working out with me. Today we have a 23-minute strength workout that is all levels friendly. I will be giving a lot of cues, so if you're a beginner, this is a great workout for you. You're going to be using lighter dumbbells. If you're a beginner, think 3 to 5 pounds. If you are more advanced, you're going to pick up heavier dumbbells for the exercises. We have 4 circuits. There are 2 exercises in each circuit, and we'll be going through each circuit 4 times. So we'll do each exercise 4 times. Go ahead and make sure that you have your dumbbells close by. This is an all-standing workout, so you don't need a mat. If you like to have one under your feet for cushioning, make sure you have your mat. And if you like to play music in your workouts, go ahead and get your music started. This workout does not start with a warm-up. I have the perfect quick 5-minute warm-up. I've linked it in this card above. You can just click on that and it'll take you directly to the warm-up, or it's also linked in the description down below. It's really important to warm up before a workout. Our bodies need that time to get our blood flowing and our joints and our muscles ready. So don't skip the warm-up. Make sure you do the warm-up and then hop right back into this workout. All right, guys, grab everything you need and meet me back here on the mat or in your space. All right, the first 2 exercises in our circuit are hammer curls and then a squat walk with a bicep hold. I'm going to hit our timer. We're going to have 5 seconds, and when you hear that bell, we're going to begin with a hammer curl. So palms facing in, the head of the dumbbell comes up to your shoulders, and then with control, lower the dumbbell back down to hip height. Exhale as you lift, and inhale as you lower. Make sure that those elbows stay pinned into your side, and don't let the dumbbells just drop down to the floor. So when we're doing the work, which is lifting the dumbbells, that is a concentric motion. It's when the muscle shortens. And then when we let go, or it's called an eccentric motion. Okay, bicep curl hold. So 90-degree bend in the elbows, palms facing up. Squat down, take 2 steps to your right, and then come back and take 2 steps to your left. Make sure that you're sitting back in your heels. All 10 toes are facing forward, and then you should be able to see your toes. You don't want your knees pointing out over your toes. And then once you've checked in with that form, just make sure that your gaze is forward and you're not looking down at the ground anymore. Okay, so back to our hammer curls. Feet about hip width distance apart. Slight tuck under your tail, squeeze your butt, relax your shoulders away from your ears. Exhale to lift, inhale to lower. Exhale, lift. So the bicep contracts as we lift, and it lengthens as we lower. But we don't want to let it just lengthen by the dumbbells falling down towards the ground. We want to make sure that we're using muscle to control both ends of the movement. If I forgot to introduce her, my partner here is Fiona. Okay, back to those squat walks. So you're going to come down into a squat, butt down and back, slight tuck under in the tail, core is turned on, belly button is pulled back, in and up, and then you just take 2 steps to one side and 2 steps back. Make sure that you're pressing into the pinky edge of each foot so that your knees aren't collapsing in towards one another. We don't want the knees falling in. And remember, knees stacked over the ankles. Okay, we're going to do that again 2 more times. Back to those hammer curls, shoulders down and back in their sockets. Squeeze your butt. Squeeze your biceps as the dumbbells come up. And then inhale as you lower. Keep the elbows pinned into your side. You don't want your arms flailing around. We don't want to use momentum to lift the dumbbells. All right, getting ready for that squat walk. Shoulders down and back in their sockets. Palms facing up, elbows bent 90 degrees. Come down into that squat. Squeeze your butt the entire time. So this is a lot of bicep work in this circuit because we have the hammer curls, which work our biceps, and then we have these holds, which also are working our biceps. Shake your arms out. We have one more round of each, and then we're gonna have a 30-second break and we'll start a new circuit. So stay strong in your lower body, even though this is an upper body move. Quads are squeezed. Those are the big muscles in the fronts of your legs. Butt is squeezed and tucked under, like someone was gonna come up and give you a little goose on the behind. Core is engaged, which means it's braced. Imagine you're laying down on the floor and your pet or a small child is gonna crawl over you. That's how braced your core should be when you're standing up here doing these moves. Okay, lateral squat walk with the bicep hold. Squeeze your buns, keep them squeezed the entire time. 2 steps right, 2 steps left. And then look forward, not down. Make sure your knees aren't caving in. Press into the pinky edge of your feet. All right, so go ahead and set the dumbbells down. Hopefully you have a chair or something close by that you can set them down on. Go ahead and shake your arms out. So we have 2 new moves in this circuit. We're gonna be doing step back lunges, and we're gonna be doing calf raises. So we're gonna be holding the dumbbells the whole time, but not arm focused moves. So a step back lunge, you ground one foot, and then you step the other foot back, parallel, not on a tightrope, with the knee bent. Okay, shoulders down and back in their sockets, gaze is forward, and you're gonna step back as far as you can and bend the knee. Feet hip width distance apart. Core is turned on. So if you're more advanced, you're holding heavier dumbbells here. And if you're super advanced, you can bring those dumbbells to your shoulders. Okay, now we're gonna do calf raises. So feet, again, hip width distance apart, squeeze the legs. And at the bell, we're just gonna begin to lift our heels and lower. So we wanna be able to hold maybe for a 2 count at the top and then lower. Again, core is turned on. Ooh, got a little shaky there, almost went forward. Okay, back to those step back lunges. So shoulders down and back in their sockets. All 10 toes facing forward. And imagine your feet are on railroad tracks, not a tightrope, right? So we don't want the foot that steps back stepping directly behind the front foot. We want it stepping hip width distance back. And then depending on your range of motion, you might be able to bend your knee a full 90 degrees, or maybe you only bend that knee about 45 degrees. Keep your shoulders stacked over your hips so we're not collapsing forward, and then squeeze both glutes to come up to stand. Okay, back to those calf raises. Fiona, I think you're clean enough. You're not a cat, you're a dog. Lift, lower. Keep your gaze forward. Controlled movements coming up and lowering back down. Working on strengthening our calves. All right, back to those step back lunges. If you want to try bringing the dumbbells to your shoulders, you can bring the dumbbells to your shoulders. Just keep your elbows pointed up. Squeeze both buns, but focus on the front glute to help you stand up. All right, back to the calf raises. So it also helps, like if you could squeeze a pillow or a little ball or a yoga block between your inner thighs. It really fires up the legs and helps with that balance here in these calf raises. All right, back to the step back lunges. So either dumbbells hanging by your side or back up on your shoulders, depends on whatever feels right for you. So remember, if they're on your shoulders, keep those elbows lifted. Step back, squeeze that front glute, press through the front heel to come up to stand. Remember, torso stays nice and upright, not leaning too far forward, definitely not leaning back. All right, back to those calf raises. Last round. So exhaling as you lift and inhaling as you lower with control. This also helps with ankle mobility, which is very important to keep us walking correctly to prevent falls. Okay, go ahead and put those dumbbells down for a few seconds. We're getting ready to move into two new moves. So our next circuit is a deadlift. So it's a hinge at the hips. You're going to trace your palms down your legs just below your knees, and then you're going to squeeze your butt and tuck it under to come up to stand. And then our second move is a bent arm lateral raise. So at the bell, we're going to come into that deadlift. Hinge at the hips, so it's not a squat, it's a hinge. You're sticking your butt back and lifting the bottom of your butt up towards the wall behind you, and then squeeze your butt and tuck it under to come up to stand. So we're working our glutes, our hamstrings, our core, and our low back, which is different from a squat where we work our glutes and our quads in the front of our body. So the bent arm lateral raise, elbows are bent 90 degrees, palms face in, shoulders down and back away from their sockets, and then you lift your elbows up to shoulder height. Make sure that your core is braced, that those elbows, or the shoulders rather, don't creep up to your ears. Exhaling as you do the lifting, and inhaling to lower. All right, back to the deadlift. So shoulders down and back in their sockets, collarbones are spread nice and wide, and you want to make sure that those shoulders stay down and the collarbones stay open. So we're only going to lower to where the collarbones stay open and the shoulders stay down and back in their sockets. Like, I could take the dumbbells all the way down to the ground, but then my form would be terrible because the fronts of my shoulders would be collapsing in towards one another. I wouldn't have my collarbones spread wide, and then that would make this dump more into my low back, which we don't want to do. We want to work these, the hamstrings, the glutes, and then of course some of these supporting muscles in the low back are definitely working. Okay, bent arm lateral raises, feet hip width distance apart. So imagine you are hugging a little blueberry between your shoulder blades. You want to keep that blueberry snug and safe the entire time. Relax your shoulders, relax your neck. And then make sure your core is braced. Belly button pulled back, in and up. All right, round 3 of this circuit. So back to those deadlifts. Inhale as you lower. Now think about the back of your butt lifting up behind you. That spot where your glutes and your hamstrings meet, think about that lifting up as well as pressing back. So it's back and up with the butt. So you can even run your knuckles along your legs as you perform this exercise. And squeeze to come up. All right, bent arm lateral raises again. And if you've been working out for a while and you feel like you're just kind of flying through these moves, it's time to increase the weight that you're using, because when the weight becomes too light, we're not making much progress. The only way to make progress is to challenge ourselves. And we're continuously growing, continuously being able to lift heavier weights. All right, last round of this circuit. So getting ready for those deadlifts. Inhaling as you hinge, and exhaling as you squeeze and lift. So remember, keep your shoulders back down away from your ears. And when you come up to stand, we're not thrusting our hips forward. We're coming up nice and straight and tall. All right, last round of the bent arm lateral raises. So those elbows bent 90 degrees, palms face in towards one another. Exhale, lift the elbows in line with the shoulders. Inhale to lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. So working our chest here, our shoulders. All right, go ahead and put the dumbbells down. I'm going to show you our last 2 moves. So these are more lower body focused. We're going to hold the dumbbells down in front, palms facing each other, and we're going to come into alternating lateral lunges. So working our glutes and our inner thighs here. So that's the first move, and then I'll show you what the second move is at the bell. So this is our last circuit of this workout. 2 exercises and we are done. All right, so sit your butt back. It's a hinge. It's kind of a combination between a hinge and a squat. And then you press into that glute and squeeze the inner thigh of the bent leg to come up to stand. So the knee stays tracking over the ankle. All right, so now our second move is we're going to take it over to the right side and we're going to hold while we row the dumbbells. So you're really pressing into the sole of that right foot. And we're hinged at the hips. And so for our next round, we're going to go back to alternating sides, and then after that, we'll hold the left side. All right, so come back up to center. Kind of shake your hips out. And then bring the dumbbells hip height in front of you, palms facing in. And then exhale, lunge to the left, squeeze to come up. Lunge to the right, squeeze to come up. So my chest is always open forward, not facing the ground. So proud chest, shoulders aren't hunching in. Okay, so this time we're gonna hinge and hold on the left. So I'm squeezing this whole back side of my left leg. And I'm gonna row the dumbbells. Give a good press into the sole of the right foot. And then squeeze those shoulder blades in towards one another. Hug the elbows back. All right, come back up to center. We're gonna do that whole thing one more time. So back to the alternating lateral lunges. And if it's too much to have the weights, you can put the weights down. Or if you need heavier dumbbells, maybe this is just way too easy, you should pick up heavier dumbbells. Remember to squeeze the glutes to come up. Okay, we're gonna stay on the right side this time at the bell. So we're gonna hinge at the hips, like you're sitting back into a tiny little chair on the right side. And then begin that row motion between your shoulder blades. So imagine that you're trying to squeeze my finger between your shoulder blades as you row the dumbbells back. All right, we have one more round of alternating sides and then one more round of the rows over towards the left. So this would be the perfect workout to do after you've gone for a walk. Even, it's quick, it alternates between upper body strength and lower body strength, so you're getting a total body workout. And even though we aren't doing any specific core work, say crunches or something like that on the ground, our core is engaged in bracing us in every exercise, so any exercise you do actually is a core move. All right, we're gonna come back to the left for the last time. So hinging at the hip, sitting back into that little imaginary chair, and then squeezing your buns to keep your lower body supported. Pulling your belly button back towards your spine, knitting those front ribs in towards one another, and then rolling those dumbbells back. All right, carefully come up to center. Go ahead and put your dumbbells down. Thank you very much for working out with me. I know you have a lot of choices when it comes to workouts, and I'm happy that you're here moving with me. Until the next time we see each other, friends, be good to yourself, be good to the ones that you love, be good to the people around you, and find the good in the world. It's out there, and if you can't find it, then make a point to be the good that you want to see out there in the world. All right, guys, stay safe.